New rules are here February 1st, 2024 for Gmail and Yahoo. In layman's terms, let me explain to you what this means. If you are sending an email to anyone with an at gmail.com or an at yahoo.com, you have to comply to this new rule. February 1st, 2024 is the deadline. There's three key things that are very important about this: SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. What the heck is that? It's very technical stuff, but these requirements are being put in place and put on the backs of business owners like yourself who may not know what all this stuff really means. But the good thing about it, you have me. I am Melanie, the founder and CEO of Meldon Tech, where I help businesses with business support and technical virtual assistance so they can work smarter and not harder. I do this by setting up business systems, software support, and just streamlining operations with automation to make life easier. Now back to this. I'm going to show you in this tutorial how you can set this up and what you need to do from beginning to end. Yes, some of the things may sound very technical, but I cannot help what policies are coming in place. But the good thing is I have 15 years of experience working in IT. I have a computer science degree, so I know what I'm talking about, and I want to break this down in a way where you not just click the buttons, but you also understand what's happening, because it is important for you to know what's going on. Now, I'm going to be using a couple of systems that you may or may not be using, but I recommend, if you are not, that you speak to the tech person that set up your business system so they can help guide you through it. I'm going to be talking about Google Admin. I'm going to be talking about GoDaddy, which is where my domain is housed. And I'm also going to do an example of my email marketing platform, which is ConvertKit. If you are not using those platforms, it is okay, because you are going to know what to do, just things may be in different spots. So let's head to the first part of this whole entire process to get things set up. The first thing you want to do is go to your Google admin account. This is where my email address was set up. I have a domain called meldontech.com, and my emails are things like info@meldontech.com, melanie@meldontech.com. You get the point. Wherever your email address is housed, you may have Office 365. But if you're using Google, you are going to be in good hands. If you're not, just talk to the tech person and they can help you. Starting from Google Admin, you want to go to your apps, and then you want to go to Google Workspace, and then you want to go to Gmail. Once you are there, here is where the rubber meets the road. You are going to head to your Authenticate email section. This is the DKIM part of things, and it's the first part of the DKIM part. Now, once you get to the Authenticate email section, here's where you're going to verify if your email address that you are just sending emails from is authenticated. Once you're here, you want to look at this section right here, status. If your status says authenticating email with DKIM, the first part of this is done. You are good to go. Still keep watching, because there's a whole nother part to this. If your status does not say authenticating email with DKIM, it may say something like not authenticating. But if your status does not say authenticating email with DKIM, it's very simple. Google makes it very easy. Just scroll down and you are going to start authenticating. Instead of saying stop, it's going to say start authenticating. The first thing you have to do is generate a new code, and then you have to enter the information from there, and then you're going to start authenticating. Once again, if you have a tech person, they can do this for you. If not, it's pretty simple to follow along. So you would generate your new record, and then you would update your items in your DNS, and then you're going to start authenticating. All right, now let's move to the second part of this. Once your Google admin is authenticating, you're going to go to your domain name service provider. So the place where your .com or your .co or .net, .org Where that lives is called your domain name service provider. I use GoDaddy. GoDaddy is pretty popular, but you may use Namecheap, you may use Cloudflare. Those are some examples. You may use Squarespace. Wherever you have your domain name service provider, domain name hosted, this is where you have to go. Once you are in your domain name service provider, mine is GoDaddy, you're going to go to your domains. So on GoDaddy, they make it pretty simple. You're going to go to your account, and then you are going to click on these 9 dots, and you are going to go to domains right here. Once you get to your domain little section, the shortcut, open that up, and it's going to take you to all of the domains that you have. You may have a little bit or a lot. I'm going to go to meldentech.com. As I've mentioned, that is the name of my company. Make sure you're in the correct domain. If you have a subdomain like hello.meldentech or portal.company.com, you still need to go to the main domain. Again, I know this is kind of technical stuff, but I want to break it down in a way where it may not be as technical because it is very important, but just make sure you're in the correct domain. Once you are in the domain, you're going to go to your DNS record. Once you're in the DNS record, here is where the rubber meets the road again. As you recall, we first had to authenticate the first part of this process. That is just sending just a straight email from your regular inbox. We did that through the authentication process in Google Admin. That was the first step. Now we're on the second step. So we are going to now ensure that our email marketing platform has the correct SPF and DKIM records. And then we're lastly going to do that last piece, which is the DMARC record. So once you are in your domain and you are in your DNS settings, you are going to go and just look through. Do not change anything. Do not delete anything. Just look. You are in danger zone when you are in your DNS settings, not to scare you, but to emphasize what you are doing. You're pretty much in the world that controls how your domain operates online. That is where you are at right now. So your domain name service records is what you're going to be looking at. So here we are. I use ConvertKit. You may or may not use that system, but ConvertKit is what I use for my email marketing. So you can see right here that ConvertKit already has a SPF and a DKIM record. You can see that right here because it clearly is in black and white, says ConvertKit. Depending on which your email service provider is for your email marketing, you need to find it in your domain name service records. You may have Kajabi, Kartra, MailerLite, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp. Whatever it is, you need to find it, and you need to make sure that you have the SPF and the DKIM records set up in there. If you do not, please reach out to your tech person in your company or your business, or contact those service providers, the MailChimps, Kartras, and all of that, so they can help guide you through it. Okay, we're still not done. The last thing you need to do is set up your DMARC record. So once you are in your domain name service provider and in your DNS records, you're going to set up a new record. And what that will look like is this. Here is my DMARC record. I'm still in my domain name service. I just made it a little larger so you can see it better. But what you want to make sure you have set in place is the policy for this last part of this requirement. I know it's kind of technical stuff, but please just ensure you are in good hands. But I want to make sure that you have all of the pieces in place so this is set up properly for you. So in your DNS settings, you're going to add a record, okay? Once you are there, depending on what you're using, you should see add new record, okay? You're going to add a new record. And when you do that, it's going to ask you What do you want to create? That's basically what it's doing. The ball is in your court. This is what you have to put in place. This is the same for everyone across the board. The type is going to be a text, TXT. You may have a drop down, you may have to type it in, but you're going to put TXT. The name is going to be DMARC, underscore DMARC. You have to put it that way. This is called the syntax. I'm not going to get super technical, but you have to make sure that you put it in this proper way. Don't do dot, don't add spaces, don't do capitals, underscore DMARC. Okay? And the value is going to be V equals DMARC 1, semicolon, space, P equals none, semicolon. You have to put the semicolons, okay? There's some additional stuff over here. I will let you all know what that is in a second. But for the most part, this is what you need. The type, the name, the value right here. You can stop right there. I decided to go a step further because I'm a technical person, but you can also add a reporting value so you know what's going on with your emails. I like to know what's going on, so I'm basically just telling my internet world, please send me some email reports to, and I have my email address listed over here. All right. You don't have to do that, but this is what that is. Okay. So once again, when you're setting up your DMARC record, you want to do the type as TXT. The name is underscore DMARC. The value is right here. Okay. Including the semicolons. Very important. Now, save it. It's going to take, maybe half an hour, 30 seconds, or an hour. It depends. Whatever the TTL time frame is, that's how long it'll let you know it's going to take. All right. Now let me show you what you can do to validate to ensure that you have done this properly. I'm in a business tool called MX Toolbox. It's really cool. This is where you can actually go to see if your email and your domain has been blacklisted, meaning people have reported you as spam too many times, so you are just banned. You can look to see if it's blacklisted. You can see the status of your email health. It's a lot of different things. But what you're going to do on here is verify and validate that your DMARC has been set up properly. It may take a couple of minutes, it may take an hour, it may take a day, depending on how long your domain is set up to refresh. But once you know that time has exhausted itself, go to the MX Toolbox and you're going to just validate with your email domain. So once again, my domain is meldentech.com. I'm going to click here for my DMARC lookup, and you can see I'm in the green, right? Everything is good. It has my DMARC. My policy is none. And then the receivers, this is what I was talking about with the reports. This is there, all right? This here where it has a little thingy, little exclamation. This is basically just telling me that I don't have my policy set to quarantine or reject. Right now, I'm leaving it wide open because this policy it's new. Yes, it's best practice, but I'm leaving it wide open, meaning it's set to none. But this is just telling me that, hey, your policy doesn't have any guardrails right now. You may want to make it quarantine or reject. I don't have that in place, but it's not going to stop my emails from sending out, and it's not going to stop my emails from me being able to receive them. Everything else is good. So all is well. This is the process of getting things in place with this February 1st rule that is coming down the pipeline. I hope this helped you. Reach out to me if you have any questions, or reach out to your tech professional if they can help and assist you with setting all of this up before February 1st. Bye.